తెలంగాణ ప్రభుత్వంచే ఉపాధ్యాయ అర్హత పరీక్షకు సిద్ధమవుతున్నటువంటి అభ్యర్థులకు టీశాట్ వారిచే నిర్వహించబడుతున్నటువంటి శిక్షణా కార్యక్రమానికి మీకు అందరికీ హార్దిక స్వాగతం. ప్రధానంగా ఈ పేపర్ 2లో మనకి 30 మార్కులకు గణితానికి కేటాయించబడ్డాయి. ఈ 30 మార్కులలో 24 మార్కులు కంటెంట్కు సంబంధించి, అదేవిధంగా 6 మార్కులు పెడగాజీకి సంబంధించి ఇవ్వబడతాయి. If we observe, the content is mainly divided into 8 areas. అంటే 8 భాగాలకు సంబంధించి మనకి ఈ కంటెంట్కి సంబంధించిన ప్రశ్నలు వస్తాయి. దాంట్లో డేటా హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అనేది ఒకటి. ఈ డేటా హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అనేటువంటి విషయాన్ని మనం పరిశీలించినట్లయితే ఇందులో ప్రధానంగా మనకి 2 అంశాలను గమనించవచ్చు. వన్ ఈజ్ స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ and the other one is probability. In statistics we have to find out measures of central tendency. That is, we have to find mean, median and mode of ungrouped data as well as grouped data. On the other hand, in probability we have to talk about how to find out the probability of an event. So మనం ఇప్పుడు మొట్టమొదట ఈ ప్రాబబిలిటీకి సంబంధించినటువంటి కొన్ని అంశాలను చర్చించుకుందాము. ఈ ప్రాబబిలిటీలో మనం ప్రధానంగా చూసుకున్నట్లయితే మనకి బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద ఛాన్స్ వీ కెన్ డిసైడ్ దెమ్ లైక్ ఇంపాసిబుల్ ఈవెంట్, and of whose probability value is 0. The probability of an event is 0, it is called impossible event. And on the other hand, if the probability of an event is 1, then it is called a sure event. So from this we can observe that the probability of an event always lies between 0 and 1. Okay, ఇందులో ప్రధానంగా మనం చూసుకున్నట్లయితే ఈ ఇంపాసిబుల్ ఈవెంట్నే మనం తెలుగులో అసాధ్య ఘటన అంటాము. షూర్ ఈవెంట్ అంటే ఖచ్చిత ఘటన అంటాము. సో మధ్యలో ఉండేవి సమసంభవ ఘటనలు, ఈక్వల్లీ లైక్లీ అంటాం. అంటే దీని యొక్క ప్రాబిలిటీ హాఫ్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ 0కి హాఫ్కి మధ్యలో ఉండే వాటిని మనకి అల్ప సంభవ ఘటనలు, లెస్ ప్రాబబుల్ ఈవెంట్స్ అంటాము. అదేవిధంగా హాఫ్కి 1కి మధ్యలో ఉండే వాటిని మోర్ ప్రాబబుల్ ఈవెంట్స్ అని అంటాము. ఈ రకంగా ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆల్వేస్ లైస్ బిట్వీన్ 0 and 1 ఇంక్లూడింగ్ బోత్ ద వాల్యూస్. దీని మీద సాధారణంగా వచ్చేటువంటి ప్రశ్న ఏంటంటే ఈ క్రింది వాటిలో ఏది సంభావ్యత యొక్క విలువ కానేరదు అని సాధారణంగా ఈ రకంగా 0.7, 30%, 2/3, 3/2 అని ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. ఇక్కడ పేర్కొన్న విలువల్లో ఏది ఒక ఘటన యొక్క సంభావ్యత కానేరదు. విచ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ కెనాట్ బీ ద వాల్యూ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాబబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఎన్ ఈవెంట్. If we observe, it is easy to understand that the probability of an event always lies between 0 and 1. 0కి 1కి మధ్యలో ఉంటుంది. బోత్ వాల్యూస్ కూడా తీసుకుంటుంది అని మనం చెప్పుకున్నాం. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ గమనించినట్లయితే 3/2 of whose value is 1.5 means which is more than 1. So this cannot be the value of the probability of an event. Can't be the value of the probability of an event అని చెప్పి మనము చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. అంటే ఈ రకంగా కొన్నిసార్లు దీనే రుణ గుర్తులతో కూడా సూచించడం జరుగుతుంది. తర్వాత ఇక్కడ మనకి సాధారణంగా ఏంటంటే ఈ అసాధ్య ఘటనకి అంటే ఇంపాసిబుల్ ఈవెంట్కి ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పమన్నారు అనుకుందాం. ఇంపాసిబుల్ ఈవెంట్ అన్నప్పుడు సింపుల్గా ఏంటంటే ఏ బ్యాగ్ కంటైన్స్ రెడ్ బాల్స్. We have to draw one red ball without seeing into that. What is the probability of getting a green ball? Because the bag contains all red balls, there is no chance to get a green ball. అంటే ఒక సంచిలో అన్ని ఎర్ర బంతులు ఉన్నప్పుడు దాంట్లోంచి ఒక ఆకుపచ్చ రంగు బంతిని తీయాలి అంటే అది సాధ్యమవుతుందా? సాధ్యం కాదు కదా. అందుకని అది ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ ఎన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ ఇంపాసిబుల్ ఈవెంట్. అదేవిధంగా షూర్ ఈవెంట్ అన్నాం అనుకోండి, ఒక సంచిలో అన్ని ఎర్ర బంతులే ఉన్నాయి. ర్యాండమ్లీ ఐ సెలెక్టెడ్ వన్ బాల్ ఫ్రమ్ ద బ్యాగ్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబిలిటీ దట్ ద బాల్ డ్రాన్ ఈజ్ ఎ రెడ్ బాల్? ఇక్కడ the bag contains red balls. Because all are red balls, whichever the ball I draw, it will be definitely a red ball. So getting a red ball is sure. So it is called sure event. So this is the way in which we can understand impossible event and sure event. Now related to this probability, mainly we can see the experiments with coins and dice. While coming to the coins, if one coin is tossed, we know that head and tail are the possibilities. So probability of getting a head is 1/2 and the probability of getting a tail is also 1/2. Now on the other hand, suppose two coins are tossed simultaneously. Then here you observe, this is the way in which easily you can observe this. First coin, you have a possibility of getting one head and one tail. And what about the second coin? Again you can see one head, one tail. Again here also one head, one tail. So here you have head, 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 tail, tail, head, tail, tail. This is the way in which we can get. So there are 4 possible events. The total outcomes are 4. When two coins are tossed simultaneously, we get 4 possible outcomes. Out of these 4 outcomes, what are the possible? What is the probability of getting both heads? Both heads means the favorable outcome is 1. So we can say that the probability of getting both heads is 1/4. What is the probability of getting at least one head? At least one head. అంటే కనీసము ఒక బొమ్మ పడే సంభావ్యత ఎంత? కనీసం ఒక బొమ్మ అనగానే మనకి ఈ 3 సందర్భాలు వస్తాయి. కాబట్టి దీని యొక్క సంభావ్యత ఎంత అవుతుంది? 3/4. ద ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ గెటింగ్ అట్లీస్ట్ వన్ హెడ్ ఈజ్ 3/4. ఓకే, వాట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ గెటింగ్ నో హెడ్? మీన్స్ నాట్ గెటింగ్ ఏ హెడ్. That is also termed as this. So probability of not getting a head is again 1/4. ఈ రకంగా మనము వీటికి సంబంధించినటువంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ సాల్వ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. Now instead of 2 coins, suppose 3 coins are tossed simultaneously. 3 coins are tossed simultaneously. What are the total outcomes? Here easily you can find it out like this. First you take like this, head, tail, or tail, head you can write. Again here tail, head, and here also tail, head, and again here also for each one you get 2. Like this if you write, you will understand the ways in which you can, like a tree diagram, you can extend how the branches of a tree will develop in the same manner. So you can see the first one is T, 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 next T, T, H, next T, H, T, T, H, H, then H, T, T, H, T, H, 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 T, and the last one is H, H, H. So you can see that total outcomes are 8. 8 outcomes are possible. So out of these 8 outcomes, what is the probability of getting at least one head, probability of getting at least one head, at least one head, at least means minimum, కనీసం ఒక బొమ్మ, కనీసం ఒక బొమ్మ అంటే ఒక బొమ్మ కూడా ఉండని సందర్భం ఇది కాబట్టి ఇది తీస్తే మిగిలినవన్నిటిలో కనీసం ఒక బొమ్మ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి the probability is 1/8. What is the probability of getting at least 2 heads? At least 2, at least 2 అన్నప్పుడు ఏమొస్తుంది గమనించండి, కనీసం 2 బొమ్మలు ఉండాలంటే 1 2 3 4, సో 4/8 అవుతుంది, అంటే 1/2 అనేది దాని యొక్క సంభావ్యత అవుతుంది. The probability of getting at least 2 heads, at least 2 heads. The same thing can be even asked sometimes like at the most one head. At the most means maximum. So here two different terms are used, at least, at most. At least means minimum, at most means maximum. Like this, by understanding the question we can answer them. Now likewise, suppose we are considering dice. When one dice is rolled, then what is the probability, what are the outcomes here? A die contains the numbers 1 to 6. So the questions can be like, when a die is rolled, what is the probability of getting a prime number? What is the probability of getting a prime number? So what are the prime numbers here? You can see 2, 3, 5 are the prime numbers. So the favorable outcomes are 3 and the total outcomes are 6. So it is 3/6 means 1/2. What is the probability of getting a number less than 4? What is the probability of getting a number less than 4 or less than or equal to 4? Less than or equal to 4 means what happens here, you observe, less than or equal to 4 means there are 4 possibilities. So 4/6 means you get 2/3. What is the probability of getting a number more than 4? Probability of getting a number more than 4. More than 4 means you have only 2 possibilities, 5 and 6. So that's how you can see it is 2/6, that is 1/3. And sometimes even to confuse you, even they may ask, what is the probability of getting a number 7? What is the probability of getting a number 7? You observe here that outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only. In a dice you don't find a number 7. So there is no scope of getting 7, so you can say it is 0. So already we discussed earlier that whenever the probability is 0, we call it impossible event. So when a die is rolled, the probability of getting 7 is an impossible event and its probability value is 0. Likewise, even it can be given like, what is the probability of getting a number less than or equal to 6? Less than or equal to 6 means all the numbers will come. So the probability is 6/6, that is 1. So when the probability of an event is 1, we call it sure event. So here clearly we can observe that the probability of getting a number less than or equal to 6 when a dice is rolled is a sure event. This is the way in which we can understand the probability when one die is rolled. Then what about 2 dice? When 2 dice are rolled, we get 6 square is equal to 36 possibilities. They can be like 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, etc., 1 6, and here also 2 1, 2 2, etc., 2 6, and here you can see that 6 1, 6 2, etc., 6 6. When it is given like this, then in this the question can be like, what is the probability of getting the same number on both faces? Same number on both faces means you can see these are the numbers which you get. What are the numbers you get? 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, 5 5, 6, 6. These are called doublets. Means same number on both faces. When 2 dice are rolled simultaneously, what is the probability of getting a doublet? Doublet means the same number on both the dice. Here you have 6 possibilities and we know that the total are 36. So the probability will become 6 by 36, that is 1 by 6. Okay. This is the way in which we can find out. And sometimes even they can ask you the questions like, what is the probability of getting the first die number less than the second die number? First die number less than the second die number means what are the things you get? 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6, all the 6 you get. Then 2 1 is not allowed, 2 2 is not allowed because first number must be less than the second number. Then 2 3, 2 4, 2 5, 2 6. Then 3 1, 3 2, 3 3 are not possible. Then 3 4, 3 5, 3 6. Then with 4, 4 5, 4 6, and with 5 you have only 5 6. So what are the total possibilities now you observe? 6 plus 4, 10, 13, 15, 16. So first die number less than the second die number, you get 16 possible outcomes, by total is 36. So that's how you can get the probability. And one more is like, sometimes they will ask you when 2 dice are rolled, what is the probability of getting the sum a prime number? So for solving such type of problems, the easy technique is you take the numbers like this. On one die you can get the numbers like 1 2 3 4 5 6, and here also 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then you simply add and find their sum. 1 plus 1 2, 1 plus 2 3, 2 1 plus 3 4, 5 6 7. Likewise 2 plus 1 3 4, 2 plus 3 5, 2 plus 4 6, 2 plus 5 7, 2 plus 6 8, 4 5 6 7 8 9. Then here 5 6 7 8 9 10. Then comes 6 7 8 9 10 11, and the last line contains 7 8 9 10 11 12. So it is a quick observation that the sum can be obtained from 2 to 12. And what are the prime numbers in this? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. These are the prime numbers. How many times can you observe? See, 2 here, 2 1 time, and 3 2 times, and 5 4 times, and 7, this is the maximum, 1 2 3 4 5 6 times, and 11 2 times. So 7 plus 2 9 plus 6 15. So the required probability, the sum is a prime number. Probability of getting sum a prime number means it is 15 upon 36, 5 by 12. Okay, sometimes even they may ask you what is the probability of getting the sum 9 or getting the sum 6. That is a little bit more or less a direct question. Getting the sum 9 means 4 times is there. So 4 by 36, that is 1 by 9 will become the required probability. This is the way in which by observing this we can find out the probability of any particular event, the sum of numbers, very easily. Okay. Now one more is related with the balls. A bag contains 5 red balls and 3 green balls and 2 blue balls. Here, what is the probability of getting a red ball, or getting a green ball? Anything can be asked. Getting a green ball, and what is the probability of not getting a green ball? So there are 2 questions in this. What is the probability of getting a green ball? What is the probability of not getting a green ball? How many balls are there? First you add 5 plus 3 plus 2, that is 10. So total balls are 10. So the probability of getting a green ball is, how many green balls are there? 3. So 3 upon 10. So this is the probability. Of course, if you want, you can write it 0.3 or you can call it 30%. So it is a quick observation that it can be observed in the form of a proper fraction or decimal or percentage. Not getting a green ball. What are the balls which are not green? Means red and blue comes under not green. So 5 plus 2, 7. So P of not green is equal to 7 upon 10. 7 upon 10, that is 0.7 or 70%. Here, if we add these two, it is a quick observation that 3 by 10 plus 7 by 10, okay, this is P of green plus P of not getting green. These are called కాంప్లిమెంటరీ ఈవెంట్స్. వీటిని మనము పూరక ఘటనలు అని అంటాము. ఎప్పుడైతే మనము రెండు పూరక ఘటనలు తీసుకుంటామో వాటి యొక్క సంభావ్యతల మొత్తము ఒకటే అవుతుంది. P of E plus P of E bar is equal to 1. కాబట్టి మనకి ఎప్పుడైనా సరే P of E is equal to 0.4 and E bar are complementary events, then what is the probability of P of E bar అని అడగచ్చు. ఇలా అడిగినప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలన్నమాట, P of E bar is equal to 1 minus P of E, అంటే 1 minus 0.4, that's how you get 0.6. అదేవిధంగా P of E bar ఇచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా ఇదే పద్ధతిలో P of E plus P of E bar is equal to 1 కాబట్టి దీన్ని ఉపయోగించుకుని మనము P of E bar విలువని కనుక్కోవడం జరుగుతుంది. ఈ రకంగా మనము ప్రాబబిలిటీకి సంబంధించినటువంటి కొన్ని అంశాలని చూసాము. ఇప్పుడు సాంఖ్యక శాస్త్రంలోకి వచ్చినప్పటికీ మనకి మెజర్స్ ఆఫ్ సెంట్రల్ టెండెన్సీ అంటే కేంద్రీయ స్థాన కొలతలు అంటాం. ఈ మెజర్స్ ఆఫ్ సెంట్రల్ టెండెన్సీలో ప్రధానంగా మనకు ఉండేవి ఏంటంటే మీన్, మీడియన్, మోడ్. మీన్, మీడియన్, మోడ్. ఈ మీన్, మీడియన్, మోడ్ అనేది వీ కెన్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ఫర్ అన్గ్రూప్డ్ డేటా యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ గ్రూప్డ్ డేటా. మరి అన్గ్రూప్డ్ డేటాకి మోడ్ని ఎలా కనుక్కోవాలి, మీడియన్ ఎలా కనుక్కోవాలి, మీన్ ఎలా కనుక్కోవాలి. అయితే ద ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ హియర్ ఈస్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ ద అల్టిమేట్ గోల్ ఈజ్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ ద స్కోర్ ఆర్ ద అబ్జర్వేషన్ విచ్ యాక్ట్స్ యాజ్ ద సెంటర్. అంటే ఎప్పుడైతే మనము కొన్ని స్కోర్స్ని మనం తీసుకుంటామో, అబ్జర్వేషన్స్ ఆర్ స్కోర్స్, one of the scores act as the center for the rest of the scores, or we can say that all the remaining scores are clustered or gathered or surrounded around a particular score, that is known as central score. So our intention is what is the score around which all the other scores are clustered or gathered. Finding this is our idea. So for doing this we have three different methods: mean, median, mode. So the ultimate idea of mean, median as well as mode is to find out that central score around which all the other scores are gathered. Now first let us take some data like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. So for this data, how do we find mode? Actually, why I started with mode means mode is very easy to find out. Mode always gives importance for the frequency. The score or the observation with highest frequency. Highest frequency is mode. Means which number is repeated more number of times you observe. In the given observations, simply you check which particular score or observation is repeated more number of times. Here clearly you can see 1 is the number which is repeated more number of times. So simply you can say that the mode of the given ungrouped data is 1. Okay. Now even one more interesting thing is if you observe like the question can be slightly twisted and it can be given like in this problem. You can see that suppose 1 is existing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times and here instead of giving this as 1, they will give it like x. One score is given like x, and you will be asked to find. How are you going to find if the mode is to be 1, what should be the value of x? If mode value is 1, then what is the value of x? The same question, just slightly twisted. Now here you can observe that 1 is 4 times and 2 is also 4 times here. If here 1 is to be the mode, then it should have more frequency, means more number of times it should exist. So here clearly I can say that x must be 1, so that the value of this can be mode. Okay. This is the way in which we can understand the problems related to mode. On the other hand, even there can be a bimodal class, means there can be 2 modes also. When there are 2 scores which are existing equal in number, then we call it a bimodal class. Okay. Then what about a median? Simply you observe some scores we are taking 2, 7, 4, 3, 9. When some scores are given, first we have to arrange them in ascending order or descending order. First you arrange them in ascending order, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. In general we say that when n is odd number, then what to do? Even number, what to do? When n is even, then n by 2 and n by 2 plus 1 scores average is median. When n is odd, then directly you can say that n plus 1 by 2 score will become median. So instead of remembering these like a formula, it is easy, just simply you observe these scores, you strike off 1 score from each end. If you are left with only 1 score in the middle, then that is median. If there are 2 scores, then add those 2 and simply divide it with 2. It is a very simple technique for median. First point, we have to arrange them in ascending order or descending order. For example, you see the same thing I gave it like 3, 4, 9, 1, 6, 8. 6 scores I gave. First you arrange them in ascending order, 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. Then you strike off 1 value from both ends. Here you have 2 values in the middle. If you have only 1 value, that itself is median directly. If there are 2 scores, simply add those 2 and divide by 2. 4 plus 6 upon 2, 10 by 2. So you can observe that the required median is 5. And related to this, one question in the previous exams, it is given like this. A data contains 7 scores. Its median is given. Suppose the largest 3 scores are added 10, then what will be the resultant median? This is the problem that is given. How many scores are there? 7 scores. Let them be x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7. Now they are arranged in ascending order, and for the last 3 scores 10 is added. Now you see here, because of this you do not find any change in the ascending order, so there is no change in the median value, because we are adding. So if you make a change in the lower values or the upper values, as long as its position is not changed, this x4 itself will become the median. Means whatever the value which you are going to change, it should not affect the middlemost value. Okay, median is simply middlemost value. And of course the next one is average or mean. How do you find? So simply it is sum of terms by number of terms. Suppose you are given something like 3, 4, 7, 9, 1. What is their mean? Means how do you find? X bar is equal to 3 plus 4 plus 7 plus 9 plus 1 upon 5. 5 scores are there. Now you can see it is 24/5. So it is 4.8. Now if suppose the same score is added for each one, then do you find any change in the mean? Means if you add the same score or subtract the same score or multiply or divide, there is no change in the mean value. Sometimes even the questions can be given something like the mean of x1, x2, etc., x10 is mean is say 7. Now 4 is added for these things like x1 plus 4, x2 plus 8, x3 plus 12, etc., x10 plus 40. Then what is the mean of this? Mean of these scores. You see the mean of x1, x2, etc. is 7. Then what is the mean of x1 plus 4, x2 plus 8, x3 plus 10, etc., x10 plus 40? How are you going to find this? So simply here we can go for it like x1 plus x2 plus etc. plus x10 by 10 plus 4 plus 8 plus 12 plus etc. plus 40 by 10. Here of course the first one it is very easy, it is given already 7 plus here for these things you have to add. It is 4 times of 1 plus 2 plus etc. plus 10. Sum of n terms. So 4 into sum of n terms. So 10 into 11 by 2 into 10. So 7 plus 22, that's so you can observe 29 is the required mean. Okay. This is the previous question given in the previous question papers. Okay. This is the way in which statistics is actually one of the simple topics where comfortably and confidently you can practice. With a little bit of practice you can solve the questions very easily and comfortably. మీరందరూ కూడా దీన్ని బాగా సాధన చేసి ఇందులో మంచి మార్కులు తెచ్చుకుంటారని ఆశిస్తున్నాను. మరొకసారి మరొక అంశం మీద మనం చర్చించుకుందాం. అంతవరకు సెలవు. నమస్కారం.